What's up, everybody? We're back with the second episode
You
of the
sound
Broken
dead.
Keyboards podcast. Yeah, it's been a long day. Woke up at 1. I'm not a fan of waking up in the afternoon.
Oh,
Why'd you
Um,
wake up? Wait, why'd you wake up so late?
bro, well, um, let's say there's a little thing called D&D that we did, and we stay up late. We go ham on our sessions to our viewers. It is an experience. But anyway, how are you, Brosif and Marubi? How are y'all doing this fine evening and or morning whenever our audience is listening to this?
I'm doing okay.
I just came back from a Genshin Impact session, just getting the daily resin out of the way, get some of my other stuff out of the way. Yeah, pretty much just the average gamer, chill and relax. And I also did some Kali training in the morning.
Ah, right. Should we get into today's topic? I don't know if we're aching to get into that.
You're taking the lead today, so I'm
Actually, I have a
I'm
question.
actually ready.
Question,
what's up?
Marubi?
If you woke up later in the day, has it really been a long day?
Okay. Yes. Okay. I have to explain myself. So have you ever heard someone described as a plant?
A plant? No.
Yes. Okay. To people who know me, I've used this to describe myself because literally I need a few things to operate well: water, sunlight, conversation, i.e., CO2, which is why I describe myself as a plant,
Oh, okay.
and constant care. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we all need that.
Take care of yourselves. That's the thing. And because of that, if I miss the window of like sunlight, I don't get charged. It's like I'm solar powered. That's how I'd explain it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
We're gonna put you out in the sun or something like that.
No, dead ass. Like if I had to choose between surviving in like the desert versus what's some place that's really dark? A jungle?
Jungle can be dark if you're like
Depends.
under all the trees.
A
Yeah.
cave.
A cave, okay.
If I had to choose to traverse a desert versus a cave, I would like 100% choose the desert.
Oh,
It's gonna feel like shit, but
I'm actually
There's
quite
sunlight.
the opposite. I prefer the cold.
Yeah, me too.
see that's another thing. It's like, do you prefer extremely hot weather or very cold weather?
Very cold.
Very cold.
And that's
Because-
where I'd have to disagree. Or go ahead, Brosif.
For me, oh yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting. But for me, since with the cold, I love the concept of getting warm from the cold. You know what I mean? Like the extra blankets, the environment, basically like winter. The cold climates, from the outside, and then just trying to keep yourself warm with like a nice heater, a warm shower, or just like hot cocoa while standing next to the fire.
Actually, can I follow that up?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've actually only met people. Eric, you're like the first one that like prefers hot weather, and that's the reasoning behind the cold weather is because so when it's really cold, you can bundle in a blanket, like Brosif said, hot shower, cocoa. You can take precautions, but I feel like in like extreme heat, you can be naked and there's nothing you can do except like air condition. But air condition costs like money, so.
Now, see, and I get that. I've heard the argument. It's like when it's cold, you can just keep throwing on blankets, throw on the heater, and it's like a nice feeling, like Brosif said, to get like hot cocoa to snuggle up. You know, have your cuddle buddies or whatever. And when you're hot, you know, you'd be down in cold liquid. Is like you can only do so much when you're trying to cool down. But it's there's something to it that me, being born and raised in San Diego and also Filipino, that like the humidity, the heat, it's like I don't extreme heat and extreme cold don't like enjoy it, but to the ones that are more bearable, there's something about the heat that makes me feel like at home.
No, I got you.
That makes sense. I have another question then, just real quick before we dive into the topic. When is your birthday?
August 9. Please don't dox me.
Okay, so because I have a theory where, based on what season you were born in, you probably like that weather. Because
I could see that.
January is my birthday. Please don't dox me. And maybe we'll just bleep it out if we want. And I like cold weather. What about you, bro?
I was born on March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the day. Because I was expecting like, please, you guys, don't dox these two. But yeah, March, spring, and when it was like earlier before like extreme climate change that's been happening. Like I'll say 1990s. Not gonna give exactly what year, but where the climate's actually obeyed the actual like how it should be in the season. The springtime was very cold, and so I think from that I've adapted at an early age, and then I started to grow accustomed, and I love the cold. And then I've also done what's it called, cold showers or ice baths when it comes to after martial arts sessions, or what's it called, just an exercise session in general. Just to and if I'm not doing a workout session, I take like that occasional like cold shower just so I can build my immune system, also to adapt to the cold. And I'll tell you now, it does show. I went to go hang out with one of my friends one time. We were sorry.
It's the cold catching up to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's coming from long ago. Anyway, we went on a friend date, so we wanted to go. We haven't talked for like a while, so we said, hey, let's go on a friend date. And so like, oh sure. And she was getting really cold, so I gave her my jacket. And the thing is, I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts. And she's like, how are you not cold? I was like, I don't feel anything.
Used to it.
Mind you, it was like 60. 60 or below. I was like, I don't feel anything. I was just like, I still feel fine. And I was like, yeah. So I've grown accustomed to just managing the cold.
Okay.
Respect. I was gonna say it reminds me of archery, because our practice times would go into like Mondays and Wednesdays. They'd end at 7, and by then it'd be dark and cold, especially during the winter months. And it's that transition I find very interesting, because like when you're there in the early afternoon, it's warm, right? But as the sun sets and the weather cools, it gets cold. But for me, it's like, because, okay, have y'all ever heard of the analogy of a frog in a pot of boiling water?
No.
I think so.
have
It's
not.
like the frog doesn't notice the heat changing, so it just stays there or something.
Yes. And people always think it's weird when I say it, because it's like, why the fuck are you cooking a frog live? And I'm like, okay, it's just an analogy. Don't get mad. PETA, please don't report this.
It's just the same.
But essentially, if you were to drop a frog into a pot of boiling water, it jumps out. But if you were to put a frog in a pot of cool water and then set it to boil so that the temperature changes gradually, like Marupi said, they won't notice and they'll boil alive. Very morbid, I know, but I use that to describe kind of like if I'm outside and that like temperature change happens, then I'm not as like odd, as opposed to someone who goes from like the inside of a building right to the outside. They're like, oh shit, it's cold, it's freezing, you know?
So like natural adaptation.
Yeah, on like a small scale throughout the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to keep talking about the weather? Do we want to dive into climate change?
I am not. No, I need a whole episode to rant about that. But this episode is yours today. You have something for me and Marubi.
Yep.
Yes. To our listeners who may or may not have been keeping track of the things we want to talk about, today's topic, which is my rotation, my hosting, is the idea of alternate realities. I wanna bring in the thing that Marubi said last time about COD and like, you know what? I'm gonna go home, start a podcast. So the first question I have, and I think this is gonna frame the realities that you all will explore next, is what is an alternate reality that you would have wanted to live in? And this can be like a major historical change, like the U.S. We won World War II in real life in this timeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagining we didn't and Germany won. Is that right?
So
History
similar to
buffs,
like,
please don't hurt me.
The
so
Axis
it's like
powers.
Yes.
so like around like the idea of like Wolfenstein then.
Yes. Well, that's one thing. So like either large scale changes like that, or very simply like you had tea this morning instead of coffee. So, what is an alternate reality that you would have wanted to live in and go?
An alternate reality. Am I still me?
You are you currently.
Okay.
And if we want to make it interesting, there's a potential you could meet the you from that reality.
Meet the me in that reality.
Wouldn't that break like a bunch of time laws also, like in the time, like based on time travel? If we met our other self,
Does it? I thought you could.
Depend.
and there's some theories. Well, I'll get into those later. There's theories about that. Like sometimes you're not meant. If you met your other self, it could break something compared to like, if you just met the other people that know of the person. But I'll get into that later.
Ooh, this is kind of hard because it's like there's actually infinite possibilities.
Yes. If it helps, I instead of like a general thing, is there an experience that you come back to that you're like, man, I wish I did this differently?
Yo, you're asking about regrets. Okay,
I'm telling you, I prefaced it. I was like, you might be digging deep for this one, and it's full disclosure whether you want to talk about it or not.
I think so. The thing that I would do differently in this timeline is I'd go and take school a little less seriously. Well, like K through 12 a little less seriously, because from my experience, community college isn't that bad, dude. So,
Yep.
because I remember in like middle school and high school, everyone was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to community college. Community college for losers because you can get in a university." Well, I'm not in debt right now, so
Bro.
that felt pretty good. I think, yeah, I definitely take school a little less seriously because I had a lot of stress with like the advanced placement classes. So that is definitely something I do differently. And if I could visit that timeline and be in that timeline instead, where everything's the same, maybe. I mean, yeah, because it's infinite. So where everything's the same, but I didn't take those AP courses and I had like less stress and I enjoyed my time more back then, I feel like that's what I would change.
Okay. How do you think you'd be different then?
The only thing I can think of is like I have less regrets. Well, with school, because I feel like I wasted a lot of time with those AP classes because it didn't really matter.
Okay.
Now I'm not saying school doesn't matter. So for the younger viewers, school matters because things build on top of each other. So the moment you don't pay attention in math, the next thing you're gonna go on to, you're not gonna get it.
Exactly. I will say though, if we want to talk a little bit about school, because that's my forte. Marubi, you're right. Some of it's like, I don't know if you said overrated, but that's what I would describe it as.
Yeah. I mean, what about Brosip?
Yeah, no, I'll let Brosip because education can be a whole nother episode on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, like, I guess it would be most of it would be like the potential relationships that I've messed up, like both in an actual like with a significant other relationship and then friend relationships and just relationships in general. It's like the idea of just like if I were able to like change those actions, I would say a lot less stress would come to mind every time you have those those occasional, like not like every so often, but like once in a blue moon. I don't know, it depends on the person. Those long shower sessions. It's
What?
just like 5 minutes of showering and then legit 30 minutes of just contemplating life,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
the other
yeah,
5 minutes of just finishing up the shower. Just like that saying, like I don't take that long of showers, but like that idea of just like I step in the shower, I'm just like okay, just start it up, get like halfway into the shower, and then I'm just like I feel like time stops for me to just reflect and think. I'm just like, Eric, you know, one of the situations I know that got me very hard. It's due to the idea of I don't want to give too much. Okay, here I got you. It's due to the idea of an individual's parents.
Yes. No, I remember this
Now
story fondly.
Yeah, so I wish like if I could help change that parent's mindset, like try to give influence like in a more positive light, just to see outside of what this individual's parents like expected me to be take a certain path that I wasn't able to pursue due to internal reasons with my actual like health and that. So I couldn't per se like make the individual's parents happy per se, and then just from that I'm just like that got me for what's it called, because it was basically losing my best friend.
Mhm.
So when I lost one of my best, it was basically the idea of losing my best friend. I'm just like that got me for like months, for sure, to the point where right now like I can have like a very strong backbone to situations like that now. Like sure, like if I changed that event, I wouldn't have a stronger backbone now if it were to affect me now. But then it's just like even if it won't make me have a stronger backbone now, I still wish like situations like that in the past were changed, or at least I want to see a different, like I want to open another door and see what was the possibility if I was able to change. Like I want to see like the endless doors of possibility, as you can see in the background. Like you open the path to one door, which is what's happening right now. But I'm so curious. What if I fixed or seen what I can do with the regrets that I built up in the past and just take the other doors?
Hey.
I don't know. I felt like I was going off on a tangent.
No, the way I was kind of taking this episode was to really get y'all thinking about like looking in the past. I'm a big fan of like encouraging others to reflect.
I hate it. I'm just kidding.
I hate feeling.
Oh, I'm sorry if this isn't the episode for you all. Just tune it out. You know, go watch our pilot. Go watch episode 1.
Nah, stay.
You need. This is important. It's critical to reflect as a human.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is like the heavy critical episode rather than the go funny, us laughing at other stuff.
The funny
Yelling.
ha-has.
Yeah, now we also gotta get you guys thinking.
Should that be the rotation for this? Like we have the comedic stuff with Broseph and Marubi, and then when it gets to Eric, it's like, oh shit, I gotta think, I gotta feel.
You don't always have. We could
I
switch
know.
the serious topics.
Watch you coming one of my episodes. I'll make you think hard. I'm aiming at you, people listening. Eric Marubi, I'll be on the lookout. I have some. I've been writing some down. But I digress. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what have you learned? Broseph, you've already like mentioned how it's like it made you a stronger person, like you have a backbone.
Yeah, I have a stronger backbone, and as you two know, actually, I've done like I'm not a certified therapist, but I always like to do therapy sessions with my friends. You guys know this, right? Like I've had clients and stuff like that that I would take notes of. Like I've written down like notes, did research on my own end just to like see like how are they going, and then just through like positive psychology try to help them through the situation. And I'll tell you now, a lot of them, I am seeing a lot of them, and they're so happy now. You know one of them. What's like you guys know one of them. Yeah, he's one of our aerospace engineers.
Oh.
Oh, right. I remember.
He will be a guest, and you know who this is. Like, apparently, I was talking to him like here and there. And he's just like, oh, he said like with the like advice and stuff that I helped him through. He's just like, oh, I made him a stronger person. I'm one of his truest friends. One of his truest friends for like the group. Because it was just like, oh, like that. I think after that, I've been like using the strong background from my own experience, and then start helping and try to figure out like what can I do for the best of my ability. And I want to make sure they can write their own, like what I mentioned in like the last episode. I want to help them be their own writer. Like I want them to write their own stories. I'm just there to read it over and be an editor, give my 2 cents. But I want to make sure that people write their own story and see them publish it with a big smile on their face, basically.
You're mentioning it. So if you guys go back one episode, or it might have been the pilot, but I remember it's in one of the episodes. There is a quote from this person that says, "Oh yeah, I trust Brosif because he can beat me up." So yeah.
So you know, he's a therapist, but also very threatening to this person.
I just want to
not
bring it
only him.
up so when
Not
he's a
only him,
guest, we can
everyone.
talk about it, because I really want to talk about it when he comes on.
Oh, I was gonna say he and I also have a very, I wouldn't say curious relationship, but I'm sure Brosef knows how we were kind of like vying for top dog in high school.
Oh, I'll tell a
Top
little
dog.
little fun fact. This the Discord group we're a part of. Who said most of us were not really the closest of friends. We were not even friends to begin with.
Wait, were some of you enemies?
We were like not enemies, but competitive. Like we were competitive with each other. Some of us, well, you know, think of some of us were enemies. Some I can go and elaborate when we bring them on. Some people were enemies of one like each other and stuff like that. Like they wanted us. They had certain paths and certain stuff that they wanted during high school, and that really like got us going against each other. Like without us actually like making the actual like effort to like confront them about it. Just like a subconscious competition, basically. That surprisingly the people who are part of know.
Okay. Just to keep on the topic, I'm gonna ask a question.
Okay.
Would you go back and change anything about those relationships? No.
Nope.
No. Okay.
No, the reason why is if I were to change those competitions and like those hatred comments and hatred like situations, I wouldn't have them as friends today.
Oh.
Or they will be my friends today, but they won't be as close as I am to them. Because I believe like the hatred, and if you can go through like this like stages of dislike and like conflict with them, and you can work it out, you become some of the closest friends or even best friends today.
I can see that. One of my closest friends is I think I was friends with his bullies in elementary. So yeah, life's complicated.
It works in mysterious ways.
Are there any questions related to more infinite timeline stuff? Because I get we do tangents now, which is kind of sick.
You had mentioned back to Brosif, but like it's for both of y'all. The idea of being like the therapist position for your friends.
Mm-hmm.
So for both of y'all, what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself?
You want to go first, Brosif?
Man, you're making me think again. Hold on, man. Like I'm starting like to. My mind's opening different doors right now. Give me a second.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Relax, dude. Holy shit. That's what I would say, because it's like I feel like back in the day, in primary school. I don't know where they say that, but I think that's like elementary, middle, and high school, right? That's what primary school is.
Yeah, I believe.
Not high school. High school is secondary, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. If I just make it in middle school and high school, I feel like I feel like this is common. There was a lot of stupid ass drama that occurred that never needed to, and it's always like. I was pretty sure I was riding a high horse at those times because I felt like I was always forcing people to talk. And I feel like the problem with that is if they're not ready, then obviously nothing's gonna get done. Because the way I saw it was, it's always the lack of communication that's always failing us when we're fighting like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever someone had a problem with me and I noticed it and they were avoiding me or whatever, my first instinct is to always like go after them and like I chase them down and be like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I don't want to fight for 3 months and you not talk to me and avoid me, and then we can fix it here and now. So I was very confrontational, which did cause more problems for me. Like the drama that I was trying to solve caused more drama for me because of the confrontational personality that I took, where it's like, oh, what's wrong? Because the way back then is if my friend, it wasn't because it never just applied to me. If I had friends that were having a problem, I always involved myself, and I've learned that I should just let people handle it on their own sometimes, and that I should only do that for like my problems. Because getting involved in some of the stupid things I regret, and that's why I need to tell myself back then, just take it easy, dude. Like, just trust that they'll solve it, because they're not idiots. Like, they're idiots at the moment. Because I feel like when you're not communicating, you're being really dumb. You're like, if you have a problem with someone and you can't talk it out there and now and be able to solve it like the mature adults that you assume that you are, then you're dumb. You should always be able to talk something out whenever needed, because avoiding someone and like talking shit behind their back and like complaining to your closer friends, like, holy shit, dude, like, just like, I hate when they do this, and it's like the closer friend hears it, and then potentially they spread it around, and then like the other person you were complaining about hears it, and then like, I heard you were talking shit about me, and it's like, okay, we can avoid all of that if we just sat down and be like, okay, what's the problem? Okay, so you don't like it when I ask you for rides all the time. Then yeah, you could totally avoid it if you just talked. So relax. Communication's important, younger Marubi, but you just gotta focus on yourself when it comes to those problems. Just like, don't. Only if they ask and you can do it is when you get involved. But most of the time you should only be confronting people when it mainly involves yourself, because when you do it for another person, first of all, they don't learn how to communicate because you're doing it for them, and then second of all, you're getting involved in something you shouldn't be. So it's like, if you're confronting someone else, if you're confronting someone for someone else, that someone else isn't gonna take it seriously because it's not the person that's mainly involved. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Did that make sense? So it's like, just to clear it up a bit, if Eric had a problem with Brosif and I confronted Brosif for Eric, Brosif's not gonna take it seriously because it's not coming from Eric, it's coming from me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned that I just need to chill the fuck out, and I should only be involved in the things that mainly concern me, which is something that I've learned because it was a very big problem back then. But I'm chiller now. So yeah, that's my take. I hope that bought you enough time to think about what you're gonna say. I spilled a lot.
No, dude, that reminded me of a situation that happened like years ago too. That's how I actually gained one of my close friends.
Oh.
That's another one of my other close friends. She was dealing with a situation, and the other person basically did what you did or your old self would do, like confront the problem for them. Yeah, and it made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll get into. I don't want to disclose too much details. But yeah, that's pretty much. Maybe I'll disclose it to you guys off camera because
Okay.
I know Marubi actually wants to hear this one. This one might be so funny for him.
Oh, I know the
You,
person. Okay.
yeah, you know the person. So I'll talk to it after the recording is done. But either way, yeah. I would honestly, I'll just say for myself, for my younger self. I would just tell him to be more confident and understand that you need to, what's it called? There's other people that look up to you without you knowing, and you just need to be more confident in yourself and just pursue your happiness. You don't need to appeal to everyone. Not everyone needs the kindness that you could provide, because they could just be using you. So I'm looking myself in the eyes and just say, like, be confident in yourself, do what you want to do to make yourself happy. Lo and behold, there's some people out there looking out for you and looking up to you, and you don't want to be a bad example to them. That's what I would say to myself.
I feel that.
It's really good.
This is the advice episode.
See, this is what happens when you don't hear me cursing up a storm. Well, yeah, I'll still curse up, but you don't hear me just talking about dumb shit and making jokes. Like, this is the other side of me. Where there's not dumb shit hours, goon hours, me laughing my ass off hours, me making other people laugh out loud type of hours. No. Like, if you ever want to, like, meet my therapist side, this is somewhat of what you'll get from it. Like, I like to be honest, and I like to, like, give the advice that I want to make sure you can understand without me, like, mad dogging you at the whole time. Like, you'll understand what I'm trying to tell you without you, and you'll understand what path to take. And the thing is, when it comes to making the decisions too, I'm not gonna force you to pick a certain side. Like I said, I'm not writing your story. I'm just gonna support the side you pick, but you need to understand that every side has their own consequence.
You support the side even if it's the stupid side, though, right?
Because it's their decision. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like, go be like, no, don't go out with them. They're like this, like that. Like, cool. Like, I can tell you that, but like, why am I validated, or how am I validated for you to heed my advice? Just with words I said, I could be a good liar, and tell you all these lies that you can believe. It's sometimes, like, in certain situations, yes, it's like you trust your gut and, like, take the advice. But there's sometimes, like, some situations that are not too detrimental to you. It's better to go see what you can, like, take the actions yourself and see what you can do with it, handle it your own way. Because, like, listen, like, as much as it is, like, how good it is to listen to, like, a therapist and listen to other people, you need to understand, like, they may know what's best for you from their perspective, but they don't know every detail that can happen or occur. Even the smallest detail can tip the whole thing over.
So it's like they're the one, as much as advice, as much direction you can give them, it's their choice to act on it, and you're never gonna know the full story. Okay. A question to follow up on that. At what point would you step in? Like, actually be like, hey, this is hurting you, or this is something that I don't think you fully understand, and you need to do this.
You already answered it with the keyword. What is hurting you?
See.
So this is where I go into physical and mental pain. Like, I would do the study, like, I would ask them a series of different questions to see what's taking them with the certain situation, and I would pose up different outcomes and situations revolving around that, and I would see how they react. So here's an example. Like, someone was in a relationship, and they don't know whether they should pursue this next person or not. And then I'm just like, I would say, like, from what I know of the person, I would say, like, oh, he could be like this, he could be like that, he could also be like this and like this, because this is how much I know of the person. I don't know how he truly acts, I don't know how he truly is. But, like, if you, like, for sure, if you go through this, like, if I tell her, like, oh, if you go through this path, and tell me what you think the outcomes are, and I'll tell you what my outcomes are, and then we'll compare them, see how much like combine or intertwine, and then go from there. Because hearing how they would react or how certain actions would be, I would explain like this will hurt you mentally and physically if you do it this way. I'm not as much as I'm telling you, I know what's it called. I've known all the info that you tell me, or that you've told me, and I can only go off of what you've told me. So like if you're hiding something, you can either describe it, but most of the time I don't want you to disclose that to me because that is your own personal information. But for me, if I was in this situation, since I would always, because I would always take situations that I know that happened to me before, so I know how to relay my personal side to it. Like I would say like, oh, if I were to take the same path you were, because I've been down this road before, I was just like, oh, I would. What's that sound? Is that a vacuum?
Ruby, you good?
Sorry, I'm adjusting right now.
Okay, just making sure. But yeah, I would just like, oh, this is gonna hurt you physically and mentally. Like, I don't want to see you hurt. As much as like it would be good for you to like from a just like a personal like development standpoint for you to take the path yourself. But like knowing your current mental state, I don't want you getting hurt right now because you don't know how much it's gonna stack, bring the whole weight on you. You're just like Atlas. You're carrying the whole world on your back. If in that situation, do you want to carry another world? Stuff like that.
How do you deal with them if they're hard-headed?
That's the thing. No, this is where my blunt type of side takes over, because I've actually had a client who was very hard-headed. The thing is, like, I can reach so far to a point where if they don't like, I wasted a 30-minute session with one person before. If they don't get any of this information, I like. The thing is, it's also taking time and energy from myself, and like, I'm more than happy to give as much of it to any individual who wants to at least hear someone else's advice and hear somehow someone else would take it. But if it's to the point where you're just there, and if I ask you like certain questions that like would pertain to what I said, or like help like enhance your thinking, and if you're just thinking the same path, you're hard-headed, like, and you don't want to change anything, then I'd be honest, I would just drop the individual on the spot. I'll just be like, okay, you take the actions, what you want to do, I'll support your action, so let me know what happens, I'll be over here. But it's like, that's like, I'm not gonna keep forcing. If you're hard-headed towards one situation, I'm here to listen, I'm here to hear the results, and then I'll go off of that. I go off of the results. Like,
Dude, I do that too. It's like, you're gonna do that? Well, that's stupid. I'll be here when it all goes wrong.
except I don't say the stupid part. I say it in my mind though.
I say it out loud.
I give you props for being very like direct.
I gotta give the opinion out. Like, I don't know. That sounds kind of dumb to me. And then
that's what for me is like. For me, like when people hear me say that, like they can feel like. No, I think it's for me. It's like they can feel it. Like I've done what I can, and then they can feel like they can see it in my facial expression is how I portrayed, like how I voice out the words.
Mm-hmm.
They just like, oh, am I really gonna do this? Like I'll tell you, some of my clients did like they like second thought. Like some of them like, do I really want to take this now? Because they just saw me just like I'm just like, go ahead. I'll get back to me whenever you can. I'm here. I'm available between these times. You can just message me then. Some of the cases, they do message me back. And
Okay.
they're like, I don't think I want to take this path. I'm just like, what made you think that? And then they start giving like what they believed, like what was gonna happen during that that whole situation.
Some more elaboration.
Yeah, they elaborate like what they think would happen, and I elaborate on like, oh, why I think that would happen for them. Like I elaborate on their thinking basically. I help build up possibilities for their actual thinking. I think there's some situations where it just gets out of hand. Like some of my clients that I drop, like honestly all the clients I've dropped, it just hits the fan, and I'm just like, dude, I am not helping you because you got yourself in a deeper shithole that I can't even pull you out, dude. If we were playing D&D, dude, my hamp rope ain't gonna reach. It's just 30 feet. It's not gonna reach you.
Actually, you know what, Brosif? Let's redirect real quick, okay?
What's up?
Mr. Eric,
What's up?
what would you change in the past? You didn't answer the question. Your own
Yeah,
question.
I just noticed that
Hey, I didn't.
he was picking at our brains the whole time.
You have caught on. I see.
Asshole.
Hey, I was gonna answer it eventually. I was just wanting to see how long y'all would go until you realized.
Man,
that I
you're
had
legit. Psych therapist side. Let's step down a minute. The other me's coming out right now. What the hell wrong, bro?
What? I didn't do anything wrong. I
Right,
just.
you're right.
I know he
just
didn't do
waiting.
anything wrong, but I'm just like, damn, he's been stacking and stacking, dude. You're putting my therapist to work.
You know,
He pulled out that notes. I shit you not. I pulled out the Google Docs on my phone. I'm just like, okay, this is the situation that happened with that guy. I can disclose this one. A little bit of details from this one. I'm just like, oh, dude, I'm actually pulling out personal stuff. Or personal stuff they allowed me to, to disclose. Or like, at least for me to see. But I didn't dox them, so they don't need to worry.
I feel like you can describe the situation, but if they listen, they're gonna know. But as long as you don't drop anything like identifying.
No, of course not. I wouldn't know.
But yes, Mr. Eric. I think we're over here spilling our hearts. Are you gonna reciprocate?
No, of course, of course. Some people say that I'm the first one to do it, but I wanted to pose y'all go first.
Okay.
So the question was something that I would change, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know, y'all got like the main points that I think about a lot, where it's like taking myself too seriously in school,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And learning to relax because in high school I ended up getting was it most stressed as the title in the yearbook.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this. Oh yeah. Another disclosure. Yeah, me and Eric went to the same high school, so I know exactly all of this.
To those who know me personally, they know that I held the top position in the JROTC unit in high school, as well as the academic league. And if they are listening, they know how stressed I would get, how serious I would get. And then looking back, it was funny because the moment I got the title, I looked and I was like, huh, what am I stressing out about? Like, why? Like, I get it was serious and people looked up to me, like Brosif mentioned, like, you never know who's going to be watching or who sees you as a role model, which I learned afterwards. Like, I visited the high school and there were people that were like 2 or 3 grades or generations like past when I had left who knew of my name. And they were like, oh, so you're Eric. And I was like, what did I do? But it just goes to show you, to reinforce the point that like you just don't know who knows you, who's looking up, and all that.
Mhm.
But I will say that if there's one thing that I've learned from that is to not be as stressed, and that kind of would lead into the advice I'd give, is that I would stress out about so much stuff that wasn't in my control.
Mhm.
And this comes to stuff that both of you have mentioned, where it's like you can give so much advice, so much direction, but at a point, if they choose not to do it, then it's not worth my own energy to try and make them to do it.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like, if it's something that I can control, like if it's for my own life, like, oh, I need to start working out more, right? And that's something that I can take action on, then that's the thing I should focus on, rather than being like, oh, my partner wants to exercise and I want to make sure they choose to do so. At the end of the day, that's their choice.
Yeah.
So that was the regret. One of them was the being stressed in school, which Marubi already covered. Brosif and relationships. Oh man. Oh. I used to joke.
I've been there. Alright, like another disclosure. I've been there with him. I was one of. I'll tell you now. Eric was one. I was there comforting Eric whenever Eric hit when she hit the fan. I was one of the go-tos to help Eric.
I would joke often, I still do sometimes, that you could give me a year and a month in college, and I could tell you what my relationship status was because it like was so consuming of my life. Be that like funny, sad, or whatever in between, you know, it's up to the listeners to interpret it. But I think one of the big things there, Marubi already covered, is that idea of communication. Like that's one of the biggest things that I would like regret, I guess, being like straightforward. There's a difference between being blunt and speaking plainly, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's an art in knowing how to do it. But at the end of the day, the truth needs to have been said, right? Like if any relationship, friends, romantic, platonic, sexual, whatever, clear honesty and like the genuineness is what's important. And there are times, I admit, that I beat around the bush, I wasn't clear, or I just left things unsaid. And those are the things I think back to, and it's like, wow, what if I had just said to that person, like, hey, I like you, or like, I don't like X, Y, and Z, and I wanted to voice it to you so that you know, right? Like, that's the other thing. We're just gonna life stories with Eric. If there's something you take issue with, and I'm not perfect at doing this, but the first thing to making anything better is to call it out, to
Yes!
present it, bring it into the light.
Yes. Thank you.
It's because it's impossible to change it if you don't know that it's a problem. And I will say that I'm guilty of not doing that. But it's a process, and I think that's what matters, is that to whoever's listening who needs to hear it, you may not be good at it, but practicing it and practicing it and practicing it is the most important part. And those were, I think, the 2 points. I'm trying to think of something else because, you know, we've already covered relationships, we've covered schooling, confidence. I don't know.
You covered the two big questions that me and Broseph already answered, which was like, change the past and advice to yourself.
Yes, I wanted to like explore something else though, because I feel like there's some untapped questions, but we can table that for another thing because I'm drawing a blank right now.
I mean, I was assuming you had the notes ready. Do you have them ready, dude?
What? Hey, I'm prepared for these things. Hold on, Ruby. What the?
I mean, it's like alternate realities. Where's your notes? Show me the notes.
Okay. So I did. In a different reality, I did prepare notes, and the questions I'll read them out. Was what type of alternate realities do you ascribe to? Which we kind of talked about. Broseph was going to talk about like time travel, stuff like that.
Yeah, we can go into those that idea of alternate reality.
Yes.
When we're done with the more serious stuff, because this one is going to be more for fun.
Right. There is, and then the other questions were, what is an alternate reality that you wanted to live in? Which then transitioned to regrets, which was actually the fourth question I have. And then, what have you learned in reflecting on this? And those were like my guiding questions for today's episode.
What have I learned?
Yeah. I don't know if there's more you want to add on that.
This is the exit slip out of the classroom. What have I learned? Did I answer that already?
I would give both of you the pass to leave class because you talked about advice, and I find advice is a way of like reflecting on what you learned.
All right, see you, teach.
All right, see you tomorrow. Remember to read pages 100 to 120.
Gotcha.
Or I could just treat it like AP World where I didn't read it at all. At
AP Euro and AP US history for me. I love y'all, but I did not do any work for that class.
Hush. Honors U.S. history. Never read in my life.
Our teachers know. Like, if you send them this episode and like, oh, Eric and Broseph and Marubi didn't do their work, they know. They already were like, oh, these are the problem kids.
Oh no, some of my teachers hated me, dude.
I'm on like half the spectrum. Half I didn't really care about. The other half I liked a lot, so I paid attention more in their classes.
Yeah, dude, I hate teachers that show favoritism. There was a teacher, because I don't know if you guys had it, but so back at like my school, there were like spirals that you had to make, like keep pages of, and my teacher made a bad spiral pile. So it's like a good, like you turn it in and then they give it back. They made a good one and a bad one. And I was always going to the bad one, and I was like the only one in the bad one. So
That's unfortunate.
it was actually just like public humiliation, but oh well.
That's why, yeah. I honestly like, as much as if I get favoritism from the from a teacher or professor, it'd be like, I know, it would be cool, but I describe this. Like I like the, what's it called? If I get favoritism, cool. But the thing is, like, there's other students here too.
Yeah.
But that's why if there's the teachers that I remember fondly in high school, he would like to. He made sure everyone. He made sure everyone succeeded, and he didn't really show favoritism. He just showed like every student in their own way is unique. Basically, he made sure he showed that, or he found a way to make it come to fruition.
Dang. I love those types of teachers.
So they're so memorable.
You always remember the ones that had such an impact in your life.
Yes.
Of course. Yes, there you go.
And that being said, like, it doesn't even have to be good or bad. The fact that they taught you something and that you remember that, right?
Yeah, I guess I can give the shitty
It's
ones that.
It's like, whether it's like legit schoolwork, it's actually like personal advice. There's always someone looking. Like, there's. It's always good to have those teachers that help you improve in some way, shape, or form. I mean, that's what a teacher's supposed to do, technically.
Yeah.
Yes. I could go off on education right now. Oh my gosh.
We'll save it.
Okay.
Just
okay.
add it to the future episodes list.
Yeah, because I wanna go ham on that too. I got some community college teachers that need that I need to speak about.
You could go into time travel right now because we are 55 in, about 55.
Yeah, we still got a big standard deviation, so we're chilling.
That's
even
true.
if we go over. I wanted to go into a lighter note.
Yeah.
So it's still the idea of like, what would you change? But the thing is, let's give in some anime flair to it.
Oh.
So in the idea of Dragon Ball, this was back way back in the like many years ago. But Dragon Ball Z, when Trunks came back from the future to help the Z fighters, and by saying, "Oh, there was a threat. We need to eliminate this threat. These androids. We need to eliminate the androids because if they survive to this day, they're gonna kill everyone. They're just gonna make the future a living hell."
Are these spoilers, by the way?
Dude, this anime came out so long ago.
Hey man, I'm not
spoilers
caught
or
up.
spoilers because I have no idea what you just said. I'm gonna be honest.
But it's Dragon Ball. It's one of like the, what's it called? I mean, they legit said it. But I'm not telling you like what happens, like what happens after. Like, that's the introduction to the thing. So
Okay, so it's like
based on-
established.
it's established immediately once Trunks arrives from the future. Legit at the beginning of the arc, you just see him, he appears, and he's just like, "I'm here just to help all of you eliminate the androids, just so they can be gone from my future." Here's where this plays out. So I'm not gonna say how they did, but like, knowing like every shonen, the hero's always gonna come out on top. So you already know where this is going. Androids are defeated, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he would go back. Oh, actually, no, not this is the android. The one I'm clearly I know more about was in Dragon Ball Super. This one was he basically Trunks comes back, and now what's it called? Because he visited before, but now he came back again, and a new threat, an evil god has taken over the whole like the whole world. For example, like he has the whole zero mortal plan, basically just to eliminate all the mortals because they are seen as they're not perfection in his eyes. They're all just violent. They don't know how to do anything correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wants to eradicate all the humans and all the mortals of the world. So let's so the heroes would go back, eliminate the threat in like their current time before that evil god took his action, like before he actually enacted the plan. They killed him beforehand, but then he said, "Oh, I'm good. I can go back to the future." The thing is, he goes back to his future, and the gods are still there. Those evil gods are still like they're reigning terror. So, I wanted to go more into like a more fantasy type, just to appease the gamers, the anime lovers out there. Like the more, what if fantasy viewers, like what would happen? Like, imagine like what would you think if you were to change, similar to what Eric asked, like you were to change one small thing in the past, but well, how big do you think it would change the future for you?
How big would it change?
If you were in a let's try it like this. If you were in a fantasy world, anime or whatever, you decide to. So everyone has like, let's establish this now. Everyone has like superpowers, or there's like some people who have like in Dragon Ball, like only some people have superpowers. They're still regular humans. Imagine you were to fight a villain, like one of the big bads. What would you do? Would you kill him on the spot, or would you let him live?
The villains.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep building on this. Imagine if like in Dragon Ball or some shonen where you are the protagonist, and the big bad is coming, and he's about to eliminate you. But but like from an outside perspective, you know that this is not gonna be the end of the series. It's gonna continue after he killed the villain. But without you knowing that, like from outside, you know it's gonna extend, but from the inside, like you're the hero, you were to eliminate the villain, or would you spare him or like not eliminate, but like damage him to the point of you give him the choice, like he can't fight anymore. Would you let him live, or would you eliminate him on the spot?
I kill him.
What if they give you the sad backstory too of why he's doing
what?
it?
Of why?
Like why he's like gone down this path. What's a typical, what are those typical stories that you would normally hear?
Has this antagonist, like, have they hurt someone already? Have they like killed people already?
Let's say for this one, not of his own, like he didn't want to at the start.
But
there is blood on his hands.
But then he did.
But then he did.
Like by the time I meet him and he's like on the floor, has blood been shed?
Not full. Well, not okay. Oh yeah, not yet.
Not yet. But he's
like
planning?
this. Like he's been like just like he didn't know what to do with his life, for instance, and now he's like taking the action. There's nothing left for him, and he just decided to start with this. And with luck not being on his side, you were the first one that he meets.
Okay. If he tried hurting me, but he hasn't hurt anyone else yet.
Like he was dead set on like you were gonna be the first victim, but he didn't know. Like just like a lost child, that the mind of a lost child. Like they don't know what's possible, like what they can do. Like they really just said, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna do this, and you're first, and he just goes after you.
Okay, then I don't kill him right away. Okay. You listen here, dude. We'll go get you a job somewhere. You can find some meaning. You can be on a podcast with me. Just take us on your journey in that podcast, and then that's what I would do in that scenario.
How about you, Eric?
Going back to the question of whether kill or let live the big bad, I would let him live. I'm a big fan. I don't know.
All
if,
right.
No.
No. I'm just saying, like, all right. I got both your answers. Like, I'm taking notes too. That's why.
Right. because I've been watching whatchamacallit, Black Clover. I don't know if both of you have
Oh,
ever watched it.
that
I
is on
have-
my watch list.
I
That
have
is on my
not
watch list.
watched it yet.
Okay.
That's on my watch list.
The one of the big character traits of the protagonist is that no matter how much wrong most people do, there are some people I think where he gets like absolutely pissed with, but he doesn't kill them unless they're like, no, I don't think he kills anyone, at least up to the point that I've watched so far.
Mhm.
But he will like mortally wound them and like say, hey, you need to pay for your crime, right?
Oh, like death is the easiest way out for him, basically.
Right, like I'm not gonna let you go off that easy. And because of that, it's like it both there's like, hey, you need to pay for your actions, and death is not the way that you're gonna get out of this. But also recognizing that, hey, for as much wrong as you've done, there's still something in there, like a Darth Vader moment, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I wouldn't kill the big bad. Is that going to cause havoc later? Most
Oh,
likely.
no. This is I'm gonna follow the OG Dragon Ball, but I'm putting my own twist to it. Like I'm using events. I'm not gonna like I'll give like who like I'm not gonna say they're not gonna be directly straightforward from the characters themselves, but it'll be like similar situation. So
Okay.
both of you would let him live, correct?
Yeah. Given the situation, yes.
All right, now okay. So you let him live. He's starting to crawl back. Okay, so here's the other thing. Where he came from was a space pod. Now he's crawling back to his space pod. Would you let him live, or would you?
Wait, what's the situation right now?
He crashed on. He like how Saiyans were born is like they like once mostly in the Saiyan situation they come in with a what's it called? They came in on bait as a space pod as a baby, because then they're what's it called? They're gonna grow up to destroy that planet once they get older. But I made a little twist that doesn't follow canon lore. Just like, oh, this Saiyan is like of age of like a human. Basically, they age slower than a human because their race is meant to fight for long periods of time. So just imagine it was a Saiyan, but it was just like you let him live because you were strong enough to best him. Now he's crawling back to his space pod.
This is like in the hypothetical that we're in right now, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't killed anyone.
No, because well, I'll make it a different like yeah, he in the hypothetical he hasn't killed anyone. This is the first planet he's arrived on, but he's not a baby like in the canon stories of Dragon Ball.
And I talked to him.
Yeah, you said you talked to him and you said like I'm making you live, but then the thing is he's starting to crawl away on his space pod. Would you grab him? Would you let him go, or would you actually like grab him and hold him, make him stay here?
Oh, okay. Well, he's staying here.
Okay. So he's basically very heavily injured. He's crawling to his space pod. You're just like, nope, come here.
Yeah, you're staying where I can watch you. Okay. We'll get you a nice job somewhere. I think that's how I would have. What are you talking about, bro? Destroying planets? Let's go have a beer somewhere real quick. We can talk about what you want to do with your future. I'm here for you. No more killing, okay? No killing.
I'll play as I'm like, all right, fine. You Earthlings are very unique, but I shall not. Can you please stop grabbing me, though?
Okay.
And now he lets go. He's not gonna run to his space pod. He just leaves his space pod there because he doesn't know where to put it. So now he's stuck with you. How about you, Eric? Let's put the same situation. He's crawling away. He's crawling to his space pod. Would you let him escape back to somewhere else where you don't know if he might commit evil again, or would you force him to stay here with you?
That's exactly it. I was thinking about like I've seen so many tropes where they let him go, they come back with reinforcements, or they go on and cause terror somewhere else where you're not there to defend them.
Yeah.
But me, I would let him go.
What?
Because as a person, I have an inherent like there is good in there. Like I treat everyone as if they are inherently there's a seed in there, no matter how old and withered and moldy it might be. With the right forces, they can be brought back. And if I were to force them to make that decision now, how long is that going to last? Right? Like until they were like, oh, I'm just going to play along for now. And then when the moment strikes, I will turn. Right?
All right.
And
Now
that's
you've
where
branched
I
off
leave it.
to alternate realities. Here. So is that all for now, Eric? Or do you
Yeah,
want
that's my mindset. Like if
Okay.
they don't come to that decision on their own, me forcing them to come to it is not the way. It's not going to be the way.
Okay. So let's fast forward now. 10 years, maybe like 5 years into the future. For Eric's case, since you're the hero, you stop the big bad. You're somewhat of just like a little hero with like your own small community, you know? Like not everyone in the world knows of you. Like you don't want to be known. You just want to be, because you want to have your own peace. Right? So that's going to be for both of your cases. Like you're like a small hero who wants to just be well known in your community only, so you can protect the ones you love the most around you. So fast forward like 5 years in the future, you're still keeping up with your training and stuff like that. In Marubi's case, the guy's still with them, and now they became friends.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the thing. Since the 5 years have passed, you look up into the sky, see a ripple, thunder striking through the air, a little rip in space itself, and you see a space pod come down. It's not your typical space pod. It looks like a time machine. We'll keep it with continuity's sake. So we'll first go to Marubi, then Eric. Is that fine with you guys?
Yeah.
All right. So it lands right in front of you, and the alien, whatever came out, then the time machine lands, and he says, "Hello, Father." And apparently, this individual came from the future to speak to the Saiyan that's right next to you.
Father.
He's basically so that this Saiyan that comes from the future comes to talk to the Saiyan that's with you right now, Marubi.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to build a bond. He's like, you're father from the future. Would you please help me with helping me out in the future, just to help just save humanity one last time? And he doesn't know what's happening because he's still trying to. He's getting accustomed. The Saiyan's been keeping up with his training. He's just like, I don't need to go back to the future. It's like, if that's the case, can you at least help me destroy the future evil that's coming within the next few days? Because if we don't stop it soon, it's going to take over the whole world, and it's going to lead to my future where I come from. And he said, like, I'm going to try and help you and make sure you don't cause any more danger. Or not you, like the big bad doesn't cause any more danger. So the thing is now, would you believe this time traveler?
So, well, I need to get things straight. So
Okay.
the dude with me
It's your friend now.
is the friend, but he's also the big bad, right?
He was the big bad.
He was the big bad. And then this time machine comes down, Father comes out, and he
Not father. No, the son, like the future son of
future son comes out.
Yeah.
And okay, so the dude that I'm with is the dad.
Yeah.
He comes out and says, "There's another big bad here."
Yes. And he will come out within the next few days.
Oh, okay. I'd be like, sure.
And he's like, I need both of you guys to help me handle this. But the thing is, like, and then basically you're gonna help change the future. So you would help him, correct?
I'd say, well, it's hard to say no to a time machine that just fell from the sky. Sure, yeah. That's the route that I would take.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you're proceeding to go find the next big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Travel back to the alternate timeline with Eric. A similar ripple in the sky lands right in front, and a spaceship or a time machine lands right in front of you. The guy opens the space or the time machine. He's a different time traveler though. He goes up to you, Eric, and he says, "Why didn't you stop him?"
Hmm.
You of course, at first you'd say like, "What are you talking about? Why didn't you
Right.
stop that saying?"
Right. I
You
would
just-
I would be honest. I would just be straight up. Like I believed in his goodness and that he would change.
You would actually believe a saying like that?
Out of context,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Saiyans are
Say-
inherently evil or bad.
They're because they're a colonizing type of race where it's legit. They come to a planet at a young age and they legit just would just eliminate everything because they want to be the strongest, the strong.
Right. Okay.
But then they can also have a change of heart once you beat them.
Right. 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 And that was kind of what I was banking on.
Like
in,
if you
the
beat them,
first timeline.
the thing is, you have to beat them and you have to try to persuade them. Like in Marubu's case, you beat him and he legit. Marubu said, "You're staying with me," and
Right.
legit like the 5 years is just gonna be like a lot of building and just like trust and be like, well, I can't escape this. He'll be like, I can't escape this place. This is my new life now. And then the 5 years, he's gonna custom become Marubu's friend, training partner. But in your case, you just let him live, and you weren't watching. They're basic. They're a basic. Basically they're a very power hungry race that would just like love nothing but to destroy, conquer, and just get stronger in general.
See, well, at that point, I would pause the game, load up an old save, and reset, choose a different choice, just kill him on the spot.
I mean that could work. That's that's a part of the big overall topic of timelines.
I was gonna say, aren't timelines just different save files?
I can't. You actually figured out what I was going for.
Well, crack the code.
Yeah, I was gonna basically the idea of timelines in the sense of anime would be just like the multiple timelines, and then I wanted to since I put you into a situation, I basically low key try to change it into a video game thing, and I'm surprised you actually pulled out the video game card, like save file, reload another one. I was just like, oh, there it is.
But if we wanted to continue from where he's like, why didn't you kill him? Yeah, I thought he'd be good, and now I am paying for the consequences.
Then he's basically saying, you're gonna fix it now, and you're coming with me, and now you will time travel with him back to when you first met him, the first initial Saiyan.
See, the thing is though, I'd like to know what the future looks like if I didn't. Like if he's like, why didn't you kill him? And it's like, my coffee was cold this morning because of him. I'm like, bro.
Would you want to take that out and see the future?
I would ask him to see like what kind of
future you've created.
Yeah, like what happened. If even it's just a recording, and I know recordings could be fabricated.
No,
but like,
he's gonna take you because he wants to know. He wants to engrave this in your mind.
Right.
Okay, ready? Write this down, like in D&D. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God, my notes. Open the text file.
So now like you want to know. You're like, I want to know what happened. He legit, before you could finish your sentence, he grabs you by the throat and throws you into a space pod.
Right.
And now he's bringing you into the future first before you go back and fix it in the past. As you arrive in the future, nothing but an endless hellscape, lava, volcanoes, cracks within the earth, earthquake, like tons and tons of lava overflowing the whole world. Only a small civilization rebel lies left, which is him and his community. And they've been hiding in certain like small bunkers, heavily disguised in like certain like environments. Like only a small community of like 10 in each, and there's only roughly like 3 of those communities left. And she shows you the world, like this is what you've created by letting that monster live.
Well, damn.
Like, oh shit.
I mean, I was already gonna go with him to fix it because like I'd own up to my mistake.
Yeah.
But now seeing that it actually is pretty bad. Well, let's go. You know, let's go fix the thing.
And real pause real quick. If you see how like here's the other thing with time travel and like alternate realities. Do you see how messy this can get? to the viewers. Like the thing is, that's why this topic, like, it's not an easy topic to talk about. Like anything could happen. Like after this scenario, after we finish what you want to do, Eric, we're gonna end it there for that scenario, and then I'm gonna summarize like what I just said right now. So yeah, you go back into the past. Basically, he forced you back into the past, and you're at the point where you and your future self or your past self were having, or not, you and the warrior from the time machine. It's not a Saiyan this time because the Saiyan came from the Oz and Marubies, but. So you go back into time. Now your spaceship lands significantly far away from where the first encounter was, and now you're basically tracked them to where you first met the Saiyan, or where your past self met the Saiyan. Yeah, see, you get to hear a lot about this situation, viewers at home, about how time travel can be messy. This way, don't mess with time. Alternate realities. It's best to just keep moving with what you got. Anyway, yeah, you see the villain with your past self, and go at it. As the past self lets him go, he crawls back into his space pod. You and the future time traveler are basically going to track him. That's basically what's going to happen.
Track the Saiyan?
Yeah, as he's escaping. Like, he goes into the spot, you're basically following him. Because he's gonna... The reason when you left him live, he's legit going to a different area to cause havoc.
Right. Well, if I have the power to, knowing that... I was gonna say the easiest option would be just blow it up when it's out of sight, right? Of my past self.
Yeah.
But knowing that it's because I did not intervene, then I would tell the future traveler there's still hope, and I would go and we'd intercept the ship, and we'd be like, hey, you're coming with me. And then all three of us go and live in the future timeline, or rather, no. See, that's the thing.
See, this is the other thing.
Yeah,
with
no,
time
exactly,
travel.
exactly.
Yep, this is.
We could either choose to live in my current timeline where nothing catastrophic's happened yet, and then if I were to bring this past version with me, there would be two instances existing in my timeline of the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think would be pretty cool, because then we have a big bad who turned good under my influence, like
versus
Marubies,
the big bad.
versus the big bad who's still bad, and it's like, wait, are you the real one? And it's like, no, you're the real one. And it's like, wait.
Yep. And just like in every episode, that's pretty much what I can see happening. Yeah.
I think that would be the most fun to do, like bring him back to my current timeline, and then have the future traveler go off and do whatever he wishes to do, and then if he comes back again 5 years later, it's like, bro, it didn't work. Then we're gonna go back to the original one and just blow the ship up. That's it. Like, don't bother with it.
Yeah, but the decision would be to at least bring him back and see what would happen. Basically, have the two good and evil sides of the same person fight. And like in every Dragon Ball episode, let's leave it on a cliffhanger like that.
Woo.
Okay.
I will continue this in the future, so you guys better remember. But either way, the idea, like, the reason why I brought this like video game / anime episode type of scenario, just to first to lighten up the mood a little bit, because talking about deep stuff can be intimidating, but it's always good to listen to. And the reason why I ended off on a anime / video game trope-esque is like how messy alternate realities can really be. Because alternate realities could be through like the butterfly effect, time travel, any sort of thing. Like, it's not a singular thing. That's what I see it as. Like, alternate realities could be legit anything. Like,
infinite.
It's an infinite possibility. That's why I said, like, you can have the simple type of alternate realities, which are the ones that, like, you would change, like, from a realistic standpoint, something like you wish you could change in the past that could change who you are today, with what Eric described. But if you take it a whole nother step, and you include, like, fantasy and stuff like that, it's a whole mess, and it's too much to keep track of. So, from my perspective, don't mess with time, kids.
True.
Just go watch Back to the Future, and you'll know exactly what.
No,
we're
no,
talking
that's another way to describe. Yeah, that's another way to see it too. That's another reality, where you go into the past and change it. It'll be still the same. It'll be a better future, and that's what your quote unquote your future is now, compared to like the Dragon Balls. Like you create a new future, it's not your future. Your future still the one that's held, but you created another possible future. So like with all the cases, time travel is very messy. We don't know if a future time traveler ever listens to this.
Hi.
Join us on the podcast. We would like to. I want to learn about what type of time travel or what type of alternate realities are there really.
Hello.
Wow. Next episode, we have our guest, the time traveler.
How many subs do I have? How many subs do we have
Oh, you right.
on this channel? And how many subs do I have on my channel in the future?
Yeah.
Can you let us
How
know?
many followers like it? And if I don't have enough, what do you think I should do?
Yeah, do you know the algorithm?
Will you help us? I hope it doesn't create multiple alternate realities.
Alternate realities are so weird, dude.
But you guys can agree though, right? Like alternate realities, time travel, they're the same thing in their own right. Like they have small hints of each other basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eric?
Mhm.
Yeah, so like whether it be fantasy or real life, but just like from this episode, I was just like, oh, there's a lot of regrets that can happen to me or that I can remember. But the thing is, without those regrets or past events, it wouldn't make me who I am today.
It's so true. Ah! Oh, Undertale. Okay. Dude, my favorite line from that game, not spoiler by the way, is the character looks in a mirror. And this caught me. Like
I know.
I almost
know what
cried.
you're
And it was like, despite everything, it's still you. And I was like, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
That is basically what it really comes down to.
Every single bad and good experience that has led up to now. It's
Mhm.
crazy. It's crazy.
So think about it now. Eric Maruvi, if we didn't even have those bad events of the past, we wouldn't have made this podcast.
That's true.
No.
You know what? I no longer have regrets.
That's why, like, even with regrets, I still appreciate them because they help guide me to what I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They just suck in the moment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, yep, they do. My
Right.
closing words for you two.
Wait, say that again. You cut out for me.
Oh, I said that's enough. That's my closing point. This on my end.
Okay.
That alternate realities are. It would be nice to change the past, but we don't know how it's gonna affect the future.
True.
It could get really messy, and we don't even know how messy it can. That's how I see it. So yeah, accept who you are. You are you for a reason.
So take
And
all the
just-
actions today.
Mhm.
Take action. One small action that you might have done today could change the future forever.
That's deep.
Is that our sign off now?
This is the Broken Keyboards
We are
podcast.
no.
There you go.
Oh my god.
I'm Marvy.
I'm Eric.
No.
I'll get him
I'm
one day,
keeping-
guys.
I'm keeping it canon on my end. I will never have a closer. They're
I was-
always gonna be random.
I'll get him one day.
Wait, if you say random, that means there's a timeline where you do say.
There is a timeline
Yeah, there
where
is
you
a
sign
timeline.
off, and I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. We're blipping out the birthdays, by the way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I only said my month.
Yeah, just I said January. Beep, beep.
Yeah, I'll handle it though.
You can
I'll
leave
I'll-
mine in there because people. Eric is Eric. They know who I am.
You're gonna bring
Yeah,
it up
I'll
to Mr.
handle-
Editor-san.
Yeah, I'll handle it by letting him know. He didn't want to include beep edits, but he'll do it.
Okay.
I mean, he's getting paid to do it, so.
True.
Or just silence it. You know, that's the thing. And
That's
I'm sure
fine,
that
too.
works. It'll be
Yeah.
like, my birthday is January.
I know. I just thought. Yeah, I
And
can
then-
tell the
then-
editor. What's it called? I can just tell the editor to just cut the dialogue at that part.
Just mute it.
yeah,
January.
he can just. He can just. He'll just cut it out.
Okay.
Makes it easier on him on his.
All right.
That's true. Okie doke.
Take care of yourselves and take care of others. We'll
Oh,
see you in the
any-
next episode.
Any
Oh.
closing advice, Eric?
Oh, that was it.
like-
That was exactly it. Take care of
Oh.
yourself. Take care of others.
Okay. As Game Grumps once posted, with Aaron Turnip. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Eat your teeth.
Old YouTuber of mine. Peace out, homies.
Oh no! Oh, you've opened too many doors.